the Springboks facing rugby championship opposition, Trans-Tasman opposition for the first time since the World Cup, where they're currently $1.30 favourites, 8.5 points in the points start against the Wallabies. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that 8.5 minus looks like a bit of a gift currently. Am I going crazy there?
No, I'm in the same boat. As Beaver said, there's a few key positions where the Wallabies are just short at the moment, and the Springboks, who have had that series against the Lions and then a nice little touch up against the Argentinians, they come into this probably at sort of at top sort of fitness, I guess. So the Aussies could be in for a bit of a hiding here. So yeah, I think that minus 8.5 is very, very juicy and will be featuring in a number of my multis this weekend.
Prayers for the bookies keeping track of all your multis. Must be a hell of a task. What are your sort of thoughts on this game, Beaver? Do you think maybe the fact the Springboks haven't played a test for 3 weeks now, coming out of a quarantine, is that playing into the line? Would that maybe Aussie will hit the ground running after playing last Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Aussie. I mean, I'm going to contradict myself later when I give you my value bet of the weekend. But the thing about South Africa is they've played the Lions, where anyone that put themselves through watching those 3 games will realise that they are the slowest games the universe has ever seen, and people were kicking it the full length of the field, and that was an attacking play from 20 metres out. So and then you've got the fact that they played Argentina. And so for me, the only chance Australia's got is if they come out and just roll out what they did against the All Blacks and just hope for a better result. So I feel that there's a chance, like it could be 50-point victories of the Boks, but on the flip side is if they just get it right a little bit more, Australia, the speed of the game might just catch the Boks on the hop first up, but it's a big but.
Yeah, no, it's. I think it is. Yeah, it's one of those games with a wide range of outcomes, right? Like, if someone told me Australia won by 10 points, I wouldn't be shocked. I could certainly see it. But at the same time, if someone said the Boks beat them 42-0, I'd just carry on with my day, because that is very much on the cards on Sunday. Are you in agreement with either of those, Rissy, or you got a bit of a stronger opinion
I think
on this one?
what you've said there is kind of hits the hammer on the nail, like the nail on the head, because I could see Australia winning, or I could see it blowing out a hell of a lot. South Africa, they historically don't have a great record when playing in Australia. I think they've only won about one of the last 8 or 9, and there's been a draw in there as well. So, and I think the quarantine thing, we have to take that into account. The fact that Australia had that game against the All Blacks, that good hit out. I mean, I saw enough from Australia to think that they could push South Africa here, make it a tight game. They just need to sort out some of those attacking plays, those intercepts, and just those long range tries they are letting in. I can't really see. South Africa will play a very different game to what the All Blacks will. It'll be probably a lot more physical. It's a hard one, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Australia sort of keep it tight at least.
I think a big plus for Australia could be is sort of talk that Cheslin Colby might not be 100%, and if anyone in that Springbok lineup was going to be suited to the dry, fast conditions on the Gold Coast, he could certainly have a field day, especially with, I'm not sure how well equipped this Australian back 3 will be to dealing with a barrage of box kicks like we saw in those Lions tests. So if he's ruled out, that'd certainly be a big tick in the plus column for the Wallabies. But I don't know if there's is there anyone else from Australia maybe in the squad, Steve, you think they could maybe bring in, or we've touched on Reece Hodge, obviously, maybe in the forward pack to maybe deal with that physicality a bit more, or just
they've obviously bought big, is it Rodder back from France? So maybe he gets a start, but no, I mean they're not. It's not something they're plush for as far as big bruising physical forwards. They've got a good collection of locks there now, but no, I think they have got what they've got, and they got to try and limit the damage that South Africa's going to do to them up front, limit the box kicks and the pressure that's going to apply, and then just try and get their game happening. But getting your game happening when you're getting a box kick, tackled at the same time, slow ruck, big defensive wall coming. It is tough to get it happening. So, and I mean, that's when you talk to South Africans, that's what they are convinced that game cannot be broken down. I mean, I think it can because we've seen the All Blacks do it numerous occasions, but they are convinced that when they get that kicking game, slow to ruck, get their defence wall sorted, they're convinced that that's unbreakable. So it's a big test for Australia.
Yeah, it takes the right sort of X factor players to probably pull it off. Right, another one. I'm sort of contradicting myself by speculating on which guys are going to be chucked in starting 15s, but I think Siliasi Vunivalu's recovered from the hammy injury picked up against the Blues during Super Rugby Trans-Tasman, so he might be another guy they could look to.
I think I saw something yesterday saying he's got something else now.
Right, never mind. Carrying on.
Apologies.
That's why we bring you on the podcast, Steve. You've got your finger on the pulse.
He wouldn't have stopped him, Pimpy, anyway.
Right. Is that how you see things going? Bit of a one-way traffic, Paul?
I think so. Yeah. I think those big South African loose forwards are going to be running at the number 10 all day. If he thought he had it tough against the All Blacks last weekend, watch out this weekend. It's going to be, they are going to target him. I'm sure they're going to target him. They'll play the kicking game, sure, but they will make sure that he knows at the end of the game that he's been in a game. So I think it's just going to knock the stuffing out of the Australians. And I think the second half, the South Africans are just going to roll right over the top of them. So that's why I'm so keen on the -8.5.
Yeah, it is one of those things like, as well, if the South Africans do just, not that I expect them to do this, but throw a bit of caution to the wind and say, look, we can beat these guys playing football. They've got the athletes to do it, right? Like some of those ball-playing forwards, Dwayne Vermeulen's going to be back. Then you've got Lacanio Arm and Deolenda in the midfield. Willie LaRue is an absolute gun. So
it's funny their mentality in it because like they've got this obviously game plan that we talk about, but like I was at that World Cup final and they did it well. But then with 25 minutes to go, you would swear they were entertainers. Like Pimpy and Kobe and then the midfield, Arm and Deolenda, who had done nothing all tournament apart from chase kicks, all of a sudden turned into magic attacking players. So they have got it there. And they chose a World Cup final to pull it out for 20 minutes, which was great to watch. But, they are a fascinating breed when it comes to when they choose to play with any sort of adventure.
Yeah, I don't think I've done a 180 quicker on a player than Lacanio Arm. For years, I just thought he was some sort of midfield bruiser. And then I saw him actually get to run with the ball in hand a couple of times. I was like, geez, this guy's magic. He's like Conrad Smith reincarnated or something. So, yeah, no, he's an absolute gun. I'd love to see him throw it around a bit at least in maybe one of the two Wallabies tests. So,
they stick to the game plan. Yeah. And then I think they got the word from the coach's box. Play with a bit of freedom now, boys. And they did. And the only reason we don't see it is because they stick to the game plan 99% of the time. And as Beaver said, they think it's a winning combination. It's a winning sort of strategy, and they're going to stick with it.